is combined with virtue, and wisdom surpasses vices. We cannot build the future for our youth. Instead, we can build our youth for the future. To take this morning further, I'm honored to welcome the dignitaries of this event. I'm privileged to welcome our dearest Mother Provincial, Sister Amalanathan Mary Margaret, who is a wonderful person coupled with motherliness and magnanimity. Her encouragement and support always leads us towards new horizons. Hearty welcome to you, dear Mother. I also welcome Sister Dr. Amirdasamy Maria Pushpam, our Vice Exilium College of Education, whose meticulous planning has brought this event into reality. Warm welcome to you, dear sister. We have an eminent personality in our midst, whose vision is broader, dreams are higher, and plans are meticulous. She is none other than our dear sister Runita Galve Borja, the General Counsellor of Youth Pastoral. Hearty welcome to you, dear sister. I also extend my welcome to Sister Ivani Lopez, the ISS and Youth Ministry Coordinator, such a wonderful supporter and excellent coordinator. Cheerful welcome to you, dear sister. And also I welcome Sister Neeli Lolia Annie from Higher Education team and our dear sister, Dr. Regina Ratnaswamy, ISS FMA Asia Core Group member. Welcome warmly, sisters and lecturers of different institutions all over the world, without whom we would be incomplete as students. You are always here to assist us in unimaginable ways and help us with our holistic development. Hearty welcome, dear sisters and staff. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. We are honored by the presence of a great person, Dr. Reverend Father S.M. John Kennedy S.J., Director of Jesuit Council for Education, Research and Training, Assistant Headmaster of St. Xavier Higher Secondary School, Palangote. He has done his doctorate in both botany and English. He is the author of 30 books on environmental awareness and education. Having 20 years of teaching in English, he has animated more than 150 workshops for teachers and students all over India. At this significant moment, I warmly welcome you, dear Father. Thank you for accepting our invitation to address our students who are sure to start another new chapter in their lives listening to you. Hearty welcome, dear Father. Last but not least, I welcome you all, my friends, to this webinar on Pope's call to the youth of the world to protect our common home. Dear friends, you are not the future, you are the love of God. You are not a drop, but an ocean. Let nothing stop us from reaching our goals. World is ours, and we need to care. Life is ours, we need to share. May this webinar enable us to love and care for our motherhood. Our life is like a laptop. Let us refresh our minds, delete all the worries, shift preoccupations, control wavering thoughts, undo our mistake, and save Mother Earth. Once again, a warm welcome to you all, dear sisters and my dear friends.
Jinsi to mute the mic. Jinsi to mute the mic.
Thank you, dear Sister Clara, for the kind words of welcome. It is a privilege to listen to the great person, Reverend Father Dr. John Kennedy, who instilled through his writings, empowering talks, the listeners to be proactive people to take care of our planet Earth. So let us lend our ears fully to our great speakers of the day. I cordially invite Reverend Father Dr. John Kennedy to address the gathering.
Slideshow, please. Slideshow, please.
Father, before you could begin, I request the participants to unmute your cameras, unmute your mics, on your cameras so that the resource person will be able to see all the participants possible. Thank you. God bless you.
Mute your mics and unmute your camera so that resource person is encouraged to see the faces and inspired to speak also. Okay, thank you. Reverend Sister Provincial, Sister Maria Pushpam, Vice Provincial, Sister Ivane, Higher Education International Coordinator, Sister Regina Mary, the Indian Coordinator. Lastly, Sister Jyoti, who has been constantly after me. Oh my God, the amount of phone calls he had been making, I said I should make it to this webinar. I think it is because of Sister Jyoti, I am here today with all of you to speak on what I know, what I experience, and what I feel like sharing with you. So with these words of introduction, my presentation will go for about 45 minutes to 1 hour, after which you can clarify, raise questions. Please challenge my stand. You are all young people. It is your world. My world is going to be over. I'm almost reaching 60, maybe 10 more years or 20 more years. My life is going to be ended. It is your life. It is your life I am concerned about. It is your well-being I'm concerned about. It is about your future I'm concerned about. Now, also my future. Also my future. I also want to live long. This is Regina Mary also wants to live long. I know. So it is our common home. I'm speaking about with emotion because it is the earth that we need to protect. Next, dear sisters, all the participants, I would like to begin with the recent report on climate change. Move to the next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. I will not spend much time on this right now. I shall spend a lot of time on this little later. But this is a recent one. I would like to start with the recent one. The global warming. Next. Global warming. Recently, the report was released. And the report emphatically said the global temperature has risen to 1.5 degrees centigrade above the normal. And this report released recently in August brings about all the calamities that is going to be there on all of us on Mother Earth. So I just want to touch upon, the PowerPoint is with you. You can go through the PowerPoint in detail. I will just like to touch upon this report was a recent report of the world environmental status on the climate change. Next slide, please. So this is what is happening. The whole environment is getting affected, and what will be the consequences are given there. Based on this, next slide, please. Based on this, recently in the month of November, recently in the month of November, world leaders, about 205 world leaders got together in Glasgow, Ireland, to seek some solutions for restoring the health and wealth of the entire earth. This was a recently concluded COP26. These are all recent events. Next slide, please. Go to next. So these are all recent. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. I shall touch upon this. Okay. Now, as a way of introduction, what is environment? Environment is all that surrounds us. Everything. It is the atmosphere. It is the earth. It is the plants. So everything is environment, and planet Earth is part of this environment. My dear friends, we need planet Earth. We need environment for our own safety and security. They are very precious for us. If we destroy them, we perish. If we protect them, we flourish. So it is in our hands. It is in our hands to protect Mother Earth in order to protect ourselves. Next. So next slide. Okay, this is the Earth, entire globe, and 2/3 of the whole world is covered by sea, and 1/3 is only land. This is just depicting the whole map of the entire world. Next. So these are a glimpse of the organisms living in the world. We right now, scientists have estimated there are about 30 million species of animals and plants and other things living in the world today. 30 million. And one among the 30 million is a human being. We are just one species. We are just one species among the 30 million species that are living in the world. So we are just one. But the sad factor is we, being the only species controlling the entire environment and polluting and contaminating and causing danger for the entire earth. Next slide. So this is a beautiful picture of one species having variety. One species having variety. See, for example, human beings, we are one species, but all of us are different. All of us are wonderfully created by God. We are all different. Our facial features are different. This is one species, but variety. Nature is variety. Next slide. Nature is variety. That is what is being presented here. This is just one species. Just giving you the detail. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, just move on. So, move on. Just beauty of nature. Just want to present the beauty of nature. Next slide. They just want to present the beauty of nature. Next slide. So this is a larva. At this, by looking at the larva, you feel little nauseating. But the same larva, next slide, becomes a beautiful. Next slide, becomes a beautiful firefly. This is nature. Nature is beauty. Nature is amazing. Nature is wonderful. These are all great things. Next slide. So we need to, I am just speaking in terms of protecting, and it is the primary responsibility of youth. You have to get actively involved in protecting our Mother Earth. This is lastly, this is the human evolution. Just see our forefathers, beginning with the monkey kind of a thing, and then how we have progressed, Now the last one, this is a modern man, you and I in that stage. We have also evolved down the centuries into becoming a full human being. So far, we were adjusting ourselves. This is what I want to bring to your attention. So far, we were adjusting ourselves to the environment. But today what is happening is we are changing the environment in order to adapt to us. That is beyond us. That cannot happen. Next slide. So that cannot happen. That we cannot permit that to happen. This is a blue marble. My dear sisters, my dear future generation, my dear students, this, our earth is a miracle. I always consider Mother Earth to be a miracle. You know why? Only on earth life can exist. Can you say anywhere else life is existing? Only on earth life can exist. Why? Because all the components are very good in earth. Air, good air, sunshine, and all the wealth and health, everything is there on the earth. So only on earth, human beings or other organisms can survive. That is why I call earth, mother home, as a miracle and a marble, as a blue marble. And this is what we are contaminating. This is what we are polluting. We depend on the earth on the one hand, on the other hand, we are destroying the earth. So our dependence is cut. So human interface causes a lot of damage to the entire environment through pollution, through contamination. Next slide. So this is a real miracle and a blue marble. What are some of the problems? Loss of vegetation, deforestation. A little later, I will touch upon in detail the various things of deforestation. Because of deforestation, loss of wildlife, lot of wild organisms die and species become extinct. Soil is degraded, soil is depleted, soil erosion happens because of our greedy intervention into this global earth. And human activities cause all these things. My dear friends, I would like to again and again stress, all these problems are because of you and me, not because of a lion, not because of an elephant, not because of a bee. It is you and I, human beings. It is we who destroy the entire environment, entire earth. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, this is our home. Various problems. Environmental changes are based on many factors. For example, urbanization. Lot of people being cramped in one place and rural areas being abandoned. Urbanization causes a lot of problems locally. Population growth is a major problem because more human beings, more mouths, more resources needed. Our economic growth is a danger today. We all enjoy the modern benefits, but all these modern benefits are a problem to today. So our way of economic growth, a capitalistic mode of development, that is the root cause of today's environmental problems. So we say we grow, but we will not be able to grow. All this growth will come to a standstill and we will go back to the growth level. So today's economic growth is a major problem for this environmental degradation that we are experiencing today. Even in agriculture, human interference is very, very dangerous. And we are beginning to use a lot of energy. So energy also causes a lot of dangers to the environment. So increase in transportation. Next, please. Next slide. So this is all these various nuclear tests, my dear friends. Nuclear energy is very dangerous because of radiation. Some of you may be science candidates, science graduates. You may understand what is radiation. One place we produce electricity, but the radiation destroys the entire earth by way of causing several dangers. Deforestation, water pollution, polythene bags. We just dump the polythene bags into the river and water bodies. Forest fire, we kill animals unnecessarily. Air pollution, mining, pesticide application, all these problems. Who causes all these problems? It is you and me. So we have to own, what I'm stressing is, you and I have to own the responsibility for causing all these problems. If we rectify, Earth will be saved. That is why I am stressing our actions are more important in terms of saving Mother Earth. Next slide. So we only cause environmental degradation. Move to next. So these are all how water is contaminated through effluent, unnecessary effluent being dumped into the sea and river. See, this is oil spill, and others are trying to clean. Next slide. Oil spill being cleaned by people. Air pollution, we pollute the air we breathe, and finally we see atomic radiation and pesticides cause a lot of deformities in human birth. Okay, so environmental degradation is caused by various activities by human beings. For example, farming alone. Today we are following chemical farming. Earlier days we were having natural farming. For natural farming, we were using natural pesticide, natural fertilizer. Today, what is happening? We are putting a lot of chemicals as fertilizers. We are using a lot of pesticides. All these cause dangers for human beings. Because of pesticides, cancer cases increase. So, modern way of agriculture is becoming very, very dangerous. What is an alternative to this? Natural way of farming. We have been accustomed to this. For example, in India, about 50, 60 years ago, our farming was very natural, depending on natural energy, natural fertilizer, natural resistant to diseases. Even land today is a degraded land, unnecessary use of land. Next slide, please. All these give you. So agriculture also is to be rectified. Even I told you about nuclear energy. Even nuclear energy today is very bad because of radiation. And radiation lives on. You know what happened in 1945, where first atom bombs were dropped in Japan. Even today, Japan experiences the danger of those radiation caused by the atomic explosion. So overpopulation, all that is causing a lot of problem today. Next slide. Environmental degradation is a major problem. Environmental degradation caused by human beings. Carry on. Okay. Water pollution. For example, water is a precious resource. Water is a limited resource. We don't have endless amount of water. We have only limited water. When you pollute the limited water, you will not have water to use. So can we remain without water? Water is part and parcel of our life. You know, 70% of human body consists of only water. So water is a precious resource, and today we are polluting the water. major polluting agency of water is the effluents coming out of industries, effluents coming from industries and the runoff from agriculture fields. Both these cause dangers to the water bodies. Today, my dear friends, today we are buying water. We are buying water because pure water is becoming a rare commodity. Because pure water is becoming a rare commodity, we are spending money to buy water. Soon, I tell you, I warn you, soon we will be buying air because pure air will become a rare commodity. Very, very soon, you and I will buy pure air. Can we allow this to happen? Can we allow this to happen? Can you and I start buying now? Now we are already buying water. Can we buy air also? So pure air is available free. Pure air. Okay, then even reservoirs, even dams, big dams are a danger to the river body. So we are also exploiting a lot of natural resources. Finally, dear sisters and friends, I would like to say consumerism is a major danger to the environment. What is consumerism? Taking in things, buying things, modernizing things. This is a major problem. Consumerism, overconsumption. This is a real problem causing, being a danger to the environment. Next slide, please. So consumerism, we have to stop. Capitalism, you have to think of alternatives. Next slide. Okay. So even fishing. Overfishing is a major problem because of greediness. Human beings are greedy and we exploit the natural resources. So this is, even mining is bad. Next slide. So all these activities are done by us. For example, I already told you about agriculture. We use a lot of chlorofluorocarbons, DDT. All these are pesticides. All these pesticides which we spray in the fields cause a danger to our health. For example, it is found out recently, even the little food that we take contains lot of pesticides. That is why we get lot of diseases. Even waste. Today we are living in a culture of wasting everything. Can we waste? If you are going to continue to waste, the earth is going to waste all of us. So today, waste culture, throwaway culture, that is very bad, causing danger to the environment. Next slide, please. So waste filling and I told you deforestation. Press one more. Deforestation. See, for a healthy living, please go before. Please go before deforestation. Please go before. One slide before. Yeah. So deforestation. Dear friends, for a healthy living in the world, the land, 33% of the land area has to be forest. 33%. Only 33% of the land area is covered by forest. Can human beings have a healthy life? But today we are destroying forests. Deforestation is a major problem today. Deforestation is a major problem today. We are causing for the entire environment. So what are some of the effects of deforestation? For example, see, beautifully God has designed the entire world. Beautifully. See, we need oxygen, but plants need carbon dioxide. So they take in carbon dioxide, they release oxygen. What we need, they release. What we release, they take. Beautiful symbiosis that is exists between trees, forests, and human beings. But what we are doing, we are cutting down trees. That means what? On the one hand, we are increasing carbon dioxide. On the other hand, we are cutting trees. What will happen? The level of carbon dioxide will increase. So air pollution will increase. Soil pollution soil erosion will increase because of deforestation. And streams will cease to exist. So a lot of animals will die. Today, I did my first doctorate on the medicinal plants in forest, in a particular forest. Forests contain a lot of medicinal plants. If we destroy forests, we will lose all these valuable resources. So move to the next slide. So this is deforestation, which is causing a lot of problems. And one more danger today is climate change. What is climate change? Just press one more time. What is climate change? Climate change is nothing but increase in the temperature of the world, increase in the heat of the world. That is climate change. You know, because of industrialization, after factories started functioning, the whole atmospheric air composition is changing. Now, in pure air, we have 78% nitrogen. We have 20% oxygen. We have only 0.03% carbon dioxide. But what is happening today is, the last 100 years, the level of carbon dioxide has increased a lot. The level of oxygen has decreased. So pure air is polluted, and this is causing climate change. Next slide. This is causing a lot of heat to the whole world. What is climate change? Change in temperature. You and I will understand. You and I will affirm. What will be affirmed? The temperature of the earth is increasing year by year. Is it not true? Is it not true? Every year, the temperature is increasing. Because the temperature, I will tell you later why this is caused, how this is being caused. Because of temperature increase, rainfall changes are there. Because of temperature increase, we have frequent natural disasters in terms of storms, droughts and all that. So natural disasters will increase, and the damage because of natural disasters also will increase because of climate change. Next slide, please. So climate change is causing a lot of, this slide explains very clearly what is climate change. Dear friend, the atmosphere from the sun, two kinds of rays enter the earth: ultraviolet rays, infrared rays. Ultraviolet rays is very bad for human being. So there is ozone. Ozone is like an umbrella above the earth. It is present from 6 kilometers to 12 kilometers above the atmosphere. So ultraviolet radiation is stopped by ozone. That is very good thing. Only IR rays, infrared rays, they are allowed to enter the earth. You know what happens when the sun's rays reach the earth? They are reflected back into the earth. But what happens? Because carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, methane, all these gases released from us, by us, are present in the atmosphere. They redirect the sun's rays into the earth. The result is the earth is getting warmer and warmer. So sun's rays come and they go back. But when they go back, they are again sent back to the earth. That is why every year it is human-forced climate change. It is human-forced increase in the temperature of the earth. Please move on to the next slide. So we are causing increase in that, because see, I will not go into all these details. Because temperature increases, what will happen? North hemisphere, southern hemisphere, ice will start melting. If ice start melting, what will happen? Sea level will rise. Sea level will rise. If sea level will rise, what will happen? All our cities and villages will perish. If the cities and villages perish, you and I cannot live. So this is the chain reaction because of climate change. Climate change is simply nothing but increase in the temperature. Scientists have definitely come out with the details how this climate change has decreased the ice level in the northern and southern hemisphere. So all these, and then climate change also will alter our environmental conditions. So go to the next one. Go to the next slide. So climate change is a major problem today. For example, see, scientists have observed global average surface temperature increased by about 0.6 degrees centigrade in the 20th century. And 20th century is seeing a lot of hot days. So 10% of reduction in the snow since the 1960s, reduction of about 2 weeks in annual duration, widespread retreat of mountain glaciers during the 20th century. So in simple terms, because of climate change, ice melts. Because of climate change, sea level rise. Because of climate change, the environment is being altered, and more natural disasters are caused because of climate change. Next slide. So all these things are done by our own actions. Next slide. All these things are done because of our own. So this is ice melting because of heat. Next slide. Ice melting because of heat. Next slide. Okay, ice, and these ice have to remain. This ice is needed for our controlling the temperature, controlling the climate. Next slide. So all these dangers are being. So see this bear is finding struggling to survive. Okay, move to next slide, please. Next slide. So this is what is happening to the entire environment. So animals also perish because we cause change in the environment. So next slide. So next slide. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. So for example, in the northern hemisphere, since 1950s, 10 to 15% decrease in ice has happened. 40% decline in late summer Arctic sea ice thickness also. So global average sea level rise from 10 centimeters to 20 centimeters the 20th century. So ice melts, sea level rise. All that is very clearly proved by this slide. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, these slides all give us the details of reduction in ice, increase in sea level, and the temperature increase. So next slide. All this very clearly depicts to us the changes that we are causing. Because of climate change, there is a loss of biodiversity, there is increased frequency of weather extremes, there is a loss of fertile land, there is a seasonal fluctuations. So when it has to rain, it doesn't rain. When it has to shine, it doesn't shine. So all these changes are caused by global warming and changes in food availability. If food is not available, you and I cannot eat anything. Dear friends and sisters, if no food is available, you cannot eat money. You cannot cook money. We are doing everything to earn money, but money cannot sustain us. Earth only can sustain us. Please remember, we need the earth. We need food. We need animals. We need plants to survive. We also need money, but money will not fulfill all our desires because of a greed. Because of a greed to earn more money, more wealth, we are destroying the entire earth. So that is a sad state of affairs. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, this is what is happening. Some effects of global warming on agriculture. Next slide. I told you already, more frequency of natural disasters. That is one thing. Second thing is, even the disasters will have more havoc, more dangers. So two things. Frequency will increase. At the same time, the damages also will increase. Frequency will increase, the damages also will increase. So this is what is seen in this slide. Move on to the next slide, please. Next slide. So I'm just giving you some, see how natural disasters is disrupting our normal lifestyle. And this is going to happen quite often. I tell you, sisters, I tell you, friends, I tell you, the youth, this is going to happen quite often. Our life cannot be normal. If we continue to pollute, if we continue to destroy the earth, our life cannot be normal like as we have it today. Next slide. So natural disasters will increase, will go on increase. So this is some of the see natural calamity and mismanagement. What? Next slide. See, a small girl struggling to survive because of flooding, over rain, too much of rain, because of changes in the environment. Next slide, please. Next slide. So a small girl struggling to survive. Life is becoming very hard. Life is becoming very dangerous. Life is becoming very difficult because of all these natural disasters. Naturally, a town is being submerged. Next slide. So all this is caused by us. Never blame God or never blame nature. See, road is cut off because of too much of rain. The flooding. Next slide. Okay, this is what is happening today. Okay, now in future, rainfall is going to decrease. If there is no rainfall, water availability will be less. So temperature is going to shoot up. They say scientists have dangerously estimated the global temperature will rise from 1.1 to 6.4 degrees centigrade. If that increase happens, nobody can survive on this earth. So at least from a selfish motive of survival, we need to do something. We need to intervene immediately. take concrete, corrective measures and concrete actions to save Mother Earth. Next slide, please. Okay, so global temperature is on the increase. Fine. Next slide. Okay, now I told you already sea level has increased from 22 to 34 centimeters from 2022. It will increase. So I told you extreme events also will happen. Extreme events. Next slide. Extreme events are going to happen because of all these changes. And many pandemics are going to occur. Dear friends, we have been suffering for the past 2 years because of COVID. And such pandemics will happen quite often because of climate change. Scientists have stated that such pandemics will happen because COVID-19 is an invitation for all of us to save Mother Earth. Next slide. Today we are struggling with this COVID, and COVID-19 is a clear sign that we have degraded the environment. COVID-19 is nothing but is a clear warning. Maybe God is giving us a warning that please get involved in protecting Mother Earth. Otherwise, COVID-19 like disasters will happen in the whole world. So it is a callous attitude into nature that has caused catastrophic consequences in the whole world. Next slide, please. So today, why so many heavy load of COVID-19? Because of urbanization. Because why COVID-19 has affected human beings more than anything else? Because our body has lost its resistance power because of our modern lifestyle. Next slide. So COVID-19 is a clear warning, which gives us a clear warning to save and protect Mother Earth. Next slide. This slide says such pandemics will happen. See, this slide is very clear. Lot of dangerous viruses are buried in the ice regions. Once a global temperature increases, this ice will melt. If the ice melts, then these viruses which are buried there will re-emerge. If these viruses re-emerge, lot of new diseases will reappear. So all these things are scientifically proved today. So in short, I would like to tell you, COVID-19 is a very clear warning that we have to get involved in protecting Mother Earth. Please move on. Please move on. Next slide, please. Next slide. Because the climate change is going to cause major dangers to developing countries. That is what this slide is depicting. Next slide. And even in the developing countries, poor countries are going to be affected more. Even in the poor countries, poor people are going to be affected. See, sisters, we have taken an option for the poor. If you want to protect the poor people, we have to protect Mother Earth. Because life of the poor, life of Mother Earth, both are intertwined. So protecting Mother Earth will in turn protect poor people. So poor people are the worst victims of environmental degradation. Even among the poor people, it's the women. Women are the worst victims of today's environmental degradation. So if you want to work for women, we have to protect Mother Earth. So that is what is happening, because food resources are going to be diminishing. Okay, carry on. Next slide, please. Next slide. See, this slide gives you clear picture of how the global warming is taking place. How the Earth was in 1884. It was bluish. That means less temperature, more coolness. In 2020, you see the Earth hotting up. It is real warm. See the change from 1884 to 2020. See the vast change that has happened. It is all because of industrial revolution. It's all because of the dangerous gases that we are releasing into the environment. It's all because of global temperature rise. Okay, carry on. Next slide. So this gives you a clear picture of the increase in the dangerous gases and that proportionate increase in the global warming. Next slide. This is proportionately very clearly displayed. Next slide. this is a global warming. Once again, up there, carbon dioxide increase proportionately. Temperature also is increasing. So the line increase in carbon dioxide. The red line shows increase in global temperature. This I have already explained to you how global warming takes place. I have touched upon this. Please move on. See, this is carbon dioxide being released into the atmosphere, which taps the sun's rays and sends them back to the earth. Because of this phenomena, global takes place. Next slide, please. Next slide. Go on to the next slide, please. Okay, very clear. This is a very clear picture. Press once more time. In 1914, Alaska was having more ice, but later 2020 the ice has melted. In 1979, the cover Arctic ice, and 2020 it has clearly decreased. Scientifically, all these things have been proved that the decrease has taken place. Move on, please move on. Next slide. So this is once again, this is a shrinking Greenland ice sheet. In 1992, how it was. In 2020, there is an increase, there is a decrease in ice and increase in temperature. Okay, carry on. Move on to the next slide, please. Climate change will have a lot of impact. This slide depicts on the impact it is having on India. Next slide. Move on to the next slide. Next slide. Please move on to the next slide. Next, please. Yeah. Okay. Effect on the environment. So because of climate change, everything is affected. Water availability is less. Air quality is diminishing. Soil pollution. See, dear friends, every year after deaths that happen in the world, 40% of deaths is because of pollution. 40%. Every eight person dying in the earth, 7 persons are because of pollution. So pollution causes a lot of dangers. Pollution causes a lot of deaths also. So move on to the next slide. So this is what is the effect of environmental degradation. This is practically in India how chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides destroy nature and natural environment. Move on, next slide. Okay, acid rain, for example, brilliant Taj Mahal was being affected because of acid. What is acid rain? Gases present above. When rain comes down, these gases get mixed and then they fall on the earth as an acid. Acid falls in the earth, it corrodes the earth. For example, Taj Mahal, the bright and the shining Taj Mahal, the shine was diminishing because of acid rain. Like Supreme Court of India intervened and 200 factories were closed in and around Taj Mahal area in Agra. Next slide. So, so far, I was spending time on the dangers that we are causing to the environment because of our action, because of our irresponsible action. So this is now. So now I am just going to present. It is our responsibility to save the environment. It is you and I. We have to protect Mother Earth from all these dangers. Move on. This I am dividing into three parts. Next slide. I am dividing this into 3 parts. One is at the individual level, we need to intervene. At the community level, we need to intervene. Third, at the political level also, we need to intervene. See, nobody gets up in the morning and decides to destroy the environment. But the way we eat, what we eat, the clothes that we wear, the way we travel, all these things have an impact on the environment. So we don't decide to destroy, but all our lifestyle causes dangers to the environment. So today, please sit down and reflect how far I am affecting the environment. So we need the environment to survive, but we cannot exploit the environment for our over survival. So that is where climate action begins at the individual level. I need to act. Okay, next slide. For example, a clean environment today is essential. We have to reduce the warming of the earth. Dear friends, we depend on the nature. our future generation also depends on the nature. So we have to protect Mother Earth in order that future generation comes in the earth and lives on this earth. Biodiversity is very, very important for the earth. Next slide. And so we have to reduce unnecessary usage. We have to replace. We have to save energy. We have to reduce energy use. Go to natural ways, natural medicines, natural way of lifestyle. All that we have to adopt to save the environment. So environmental action begins from me, my lifestyle, with the dress I wear, the food I eat, the way I walk, the way I travel. So it has to begin with my own changes in tune with the protecting Mother Earth. Next slide. So environmental action begins from me. Environmental protection begins from me. See, all these plastic waste dumped into the water bodies, you and I do. Next slide. So we are contaminating the entire earth. So action begins from me. Next slide. We are praying for water. Water is a precious resource. Let us save water. Let us save water. Next slide. Let us save water because water is a precious resource. Water is a limited resource. If you don't get water, no food. So water level, availability of water is related to availability of food. So protect water and have food. All these things are related. So we need to do something about water conservation. This is drought condition. Move on. Please move on to the next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, drought. Next slide. Next slide. This is the we cannot live on this barren land. We have to respect other living organisms also. Every organism on this face of the earth, they have a right to live. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. So suppose we don't waste water. Don't waste water. Move to natural farming. Move to natural energy source. There are plenty of natural energy source. It is not only petrol, diesel that give you energy. It is not only coal that give you energy. It is solar energy. It is wind energy. It is wave energy. All that is available. Move to the next one. Move to the next one. So from these energy sources, move to natural source of energy. So our the 3 R's of environmental protection is reduce, reuse, recycle. Please keep this in mind and adopt this to your life and promote this. Save trees, save earth, save life. So we have to protect trees, protect forests to save ourselves. Move on. Next slide. So trees are very, very important for protecting our environment. See the multi benefits of trees. Trees give us fruits. Trees give us pure air. Trees give us coolness. All that. So protect trees in order to protect ourselves. Move on to the next slide. Next slide. Okay. So this slide gives you move to natural sources of energy. There are plenty of natural sources of energy. Move to from artificial or from fossil fuels. Move on to natural energy. So next slide. Next slide. This is all we need to do. We need to compel the government. Now, my last few slides will be Catholic Church is stressing on our responsibility in protecting Mother Earth. See, for example, take the Bible. Bible begins with creation story. Bible ends with the new creation. So the creation was beautiful at the beginning. God created the earth beautifully. But what happened? Because of man's actions, the beauty in nature was destroyed. And Jesus came. Jesus renewed the beauty of the earth, and the result was new earth and new heaven. So the Bible itself is an ecological book which begins with creation, and in the book of Revelation, it ends with new creation, new earth, new lifestyle, all that. And the Catholic Church is stressing on our responsibility in protecting God's creation. Why should we protect God's creation? Because everything is created by God, not only human beings. Your plants, animals, everything is created by God. Secondly, in everything, God is present. God is present in everything. So if you destroy nature, we are destroying God. If you are destroying nature, we are against God. So protect nature, we are friendly to God, because Everything has been created by God. We cannot destroy what God has created. Recent bishops and all that write again and again on this. And beautifully, our Pope Francis has come out with an encyclical Laudato Si. What is the meaning of Laudato Si? Praise be to you, God, because of this beautiful earth. You know, Gerald Manley Hopkins, a Jesuit poet, wrote God by God's glory, the grandeur of God. The world is filled with the grandeur of God. The beauty of God is seen in nature. So if you destroy nature, we are destroying the beauty of God. That is what Laudato Si, the encyclical of the Pope Francis, clearly brings out. And Pope Francis very clear in saying our lifestyle, our consumerism is causing global damage to the environment. So he is calling us, Pope Francis is calling us, come, plunge into activities, make your politicians take proper policies. So, and then protect the poor, protect the environment. Danger to the poor, danger of the environment, both are closely interlinked. So Pope Francis says, protect Mother Earth in order to protect poor people. So all that beautifully Pope Francis in the encyclical Laudato Si clearly brings out all these dangers, and he is calling us. Pope Francis is calling the youth of the world. Youth of the world, it is your world. So come out and protect the Mother Earth. So next slide, next slide. So Pope Francis Laudato Si is very clear in giving a very clear call. So Pope calls all people of the world to take swift and unified global action. Laudato Si has been welcomed by many people, many organizations, because it's a beautiful encyclical written by Pope Francis. This encyclical gave a boost to the fossil fuel in disinvestment movement. Pope Francis is surely absolutely right that climate change raises vital moral and ethical issues. This encyclical helps us become ambassadors of the environment. So this encyclical, please read the encyclical, beautifully given. So I would like to conclude my presentation with, dear friends, lot of you are college students, lot of young activists are there protecting environment. I'm just giving you 18 young people in India who are involved in eco protection. I hope I'm clear. I'm just going to present in short 18 young people who are involved in environmental protection. So move on. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Move to the next slide. Move to the next slide. Move to the next slide. The first person is before that. The first person is Gavita Gulhati. She is from Bangalore. You know, she is called the Water Girl of India. She has begun a very good project. In the hotels, 14 million liters of water is being wasted every year. So she promoted protection of saving of water. Next slide. Next slide. So she's called the water. So she says the project is called launched Why Waste Water in the Hotels. And the project is called Glass Half Full. Because of this water, because of this water girl, she is saving 10 million liters of water every year through restaurant saving water. So this girl is an example in water conservation. She is from Bangalore. Next slide. And the next person is Sneha Shahi. Sneha Shahi. You know, Sneha Shahi has renovated a small drain in her college. That drain was filled with plastic. So with her college friends, she cleaned the entire drain. So my dear friends, I'm telling you, little action will save the environment. Like little action by Sneha Sahi, she cleaned the stream in her college, and the result was, next slide. She is from Gujarat. She has cleaned the stream, and because of her action, you know, turtles have come back to the stream. Crocodiles have come back to the stream. Plants have come back to the stream. So natural vegetation has returned to the stream because of her concrete action. Next slide. Next slide. Third person is Kriti Tula. This person is also marvelous. You know, this person collects the waste fabrics and scraps, and he uses, creates new things. So this Kriti Tula is an example for waste material being used again and being made into useful material. So Kriti Tula is an environmental activist, environmental warrior. Next slide. And this Ganesh Kumar Subramanian, he is based in Chennai. You know, he in terms of waste protection, he collects wastages and then separates them. If waste can be recycled, he is involved in recycling waste. Such a beautiful character, Ganesh Kumar Subramanian. He is involved in waste segregation and reusing waste material. Move on to the next person. Next person. And next person is Aditya Mukherjee. He is from Delhi. He is creating awareness on plastic pollution. He is saving Delhi from getting polluted by plastics. See, we use a lot of plastics, and plastics cause a lot of dangers to the world, to the Mother Earth. And Aditya Mukherjee is an activist in stopping plastic pollution in Delhi. Next slide. And this is Neha Shivaji. She is from Maharashtra. Young lady. She is involved in waste management and natural living. So this is Neha Shivaji, sixth environmental warrior. Next slide. This is Samia Ranjan Biswal. This person is from Orissa. He is protecting the coastline in Orissa from unnecessary interference. So young people get actively involved in protecting the Mother Earth. I'm just giving you examples of young people getting involved because it is your world we need to protect. So Samia Ranjan Biswal from Orissa, protecting the coastline of Orissa. Next slide. Next slide. I have already said. Next slide. And the eighth person is Akhilesh Anil Kumar. He is from Thiruvananthapuram. Once again, he is creating awareness on coastline protection in Thiruvananthapuram through his concrete action. So Akhilesh Anil Kumar, just 21 years old, based in Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram, is taking a lot of action in protecting the sea from unnecessary pollution. Next slide. Okay, next slide. And the ninth person, young person involved in environmental protection is Sanju Soman. Once again, he is from Kerala. He has created wetland village. He is involved in reclaiming lake, protecting water bodies, protecting fishes. So young person of 29 years old, Sanju Soman, he is from Kerala. He is doing a lot of activities in terms of protection of water bodies. Next slide. This is Burgess Driver. Burgess Driver is from Mumbai. He is involved in how to design buildings in tune with the environment. So he is a building designer in tune with the environment. Such a nice, innovative young activist. Next young person is Medha Priya. Medha Priya, 11th person. She is from Jaipur, basically an architect. She is creating a lot of awareness among people on environmental protection. 12th person, next slide. 12th person, next slide. The 12th person is Hita Lakshmi. Hita Lakshmi is from Mumbai. She is motivating young school children. She has created Green Warriors and she educates school children on climate. Such a beautiful, wonderful Hita Lakani is creating awareness among school children on environmental protection. Okay, and the next person is the 13th person. The 13th person is Hina Saifi. Hina Saifi is only a school girl, and she is distributing awareness materials to people on natural energy. Okay, next one. 13th, and the 14th person is, Varsha Raikwar. Varsha Raikwar, she through community radio, she creates a lot of awareness among people how and why we need to protect environment. Okay, next slide. And the 15th person, 15th young person protecting our working for environmental protection is Archana Soren. Archana Soren is a tribal girl, and she's also involved in United Nations environmental program. And she creates a lot of initiatives. She takes a lot of initiatives in protecting the tradition, tribal tradition, which protects the Mother Earth. Okay, this is the 15th person, Archana Soren. The next was 16th person. Next slide. 16th person is Sarath KR. He is a folk enthusiast. He is also from Kerala. He is involved in environmental awareness through folklore. He creates awareness through folklore in protecting water bodies and Mother Earth. And the next slide. And the 17th person protecting, fighting for Mother Earth in India is Siddhartha Sharma. Siddhartha Sharma is he is also from Assam. He is also from Assam. He also is an youngster working for protection of Mother Earth. He is a very good example. And the last person, 18th person, move on to the next slide. And the 18th person working for environmental protection in India, young person is Nidhi Pant. Nidhi Pant is a chemical engineer. Now, beautifully, she is involved in natural energy being used for our own way of lifestyle. So she is producing a lot of these things in terms of natural use of energy. She has created a group called S4S, Science for Society. So young people are involved in various ways in protecting our environment. Move on, next slide. Next slide. So friends, let your hands too join in protecting Mother Earth. If they can act, we can also act. If they can do, we can also do, because it is your earth, it is my earth. Next slide. And lastly, I would like to finish. Our planet's alarm is going off, and it is time to wake up and take action. Wake up from your slumber and take action. Thanks a lot for this wonderful opportunity of interacting with all of you on environmental protection and awareness. Thanks a lot. Questions and clarifications. Please
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much.
Please close the slide, Suresh. Carry on.
Now it's a time for the young people and the professors to come out boldly with your courage to clarify yourself.
At least respond how you like the session. Did you learn something from it? All that. If there are no questions, at least respond. At least respond to the presentation.
Dear participants, you can unmute and speak out.
Thank you so much, fathers, for the wonderful presentation.
Yes, Sister Ranjan.
Especially, I'm much impressed with the 18 young people you have given from India. So it's a real source and inspiration for all of us and for the young people. So thank you so much. God bless you.
It was very frightening to hear about the future.
Louder, 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 louder. Not audible.
It was so frightening to think about our future.
It is really frightening, but you and I can intervene to reduce the fright, to reduce the fear. We can do it. We can protect. We can protect.
Dear Father, thank you for your wonderful presentation. First time I'm listening to that 18 young people. I second Sister Regina. 18 young people, because these days people are finding fault with young people. They do not care for anything. They do not take up the responsibility. They do not respond to the needs of the times. Many are almost accusing young people, but to see such a eminent 18 young people taking care in their own way. So many are very, very young. They are school students out of 16, 21 age old. It is really motivating to see such eminent figures in our own country, in our own motherland. And I also feel many times in the name of protecting environment or taking care of common home, we start doing some little things like planting some saplings or creating a plastic free environment. We ask the students to do something, but it doesn't last for so many. It doesn't last for. It just ends up with a few weeks, and planting some trees. Of course, we plant some trees during Environmental Day, but I feel that we have to move from a temporal satisfaction of protecting common home to something which is lasting, which was done by our ancestors, because their hard work we are experiencing now. And what we are going to do, I ask you some few suggestions that we can make lasting changes in the world as students, as sisters. I humbly ask you some one or two suggestions how we can start up doing lasting changes. Not
Sister Clarencia, very good, very well presented, Sister Clarencia, and your question also is very valid. See, basically, most of us are involved in educational institutions. Inspire the students. If in a class of 50, if 5 are involved, enough. If you are able to motivate at least 5, 10, the earth will be protected. That is one thing. A second thing is, as you clearly pointed out, personal actions are more important. Move out. So as groups, you can get involved. Third is very important. We need to intervene at the level of policy making. See, policy making is very important. It's the politicians who decide the future of the earth. We need to get involved. I will tell you, come out to the streets, fight with the politicians, let them come out the proper policies. It is not their, they are all living in AC rooms. They will not experience. It is your world, my world, and they are deciding the policies. So intervene at the policy level. That's why I'm saying advocacy is very important. Advocacy in terms of building public opinions so that proper policies are drawn up at the country level, at the international level. So all these things, I'm just responding to Mr. Clarencia. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much.
If there is nothing else, we can
Is
close.
there any, if there's no questions, I request all the participants to unmute your camera so that they can take a screenshot, please. All the participants. I don't find any sisters from Africa. Sister Neves, Sister Mary Digina. Yes, Sister Mercy, happy to see you. Sister Jodi is there. Any Selvarani is there? Any participants from Africa, 2 institutes? Oh, thank you, Sister Maria. Maria is there. Sister Jodi, can you tell one who is hosting this web link to take the screenshot?
Yes, sister.
Okay, thank you.
Keep smiling.
So Jinsi from where? Can you unmute your mic?
From Auxilium College, Angamali.
Okay, very good. I didn't find anyone from Guwahati, Udalguri. Anybody is there? Udalguri? Auxilium Udalguri? Auxili Mudalguri from Africa also I don't find. It's nice next time onwards, to give the numbers, because when we host this webinar program, the institute that's hosting is, we are paying huge amount for the web link. 500 for participants means, so only we came up to, I saw the participants number 190, 92, 95 also it reached. But what happened to the other 300? So I don't know. So it's nice to inform, one is organizing, whether are we able to coming to the program or unable to log in or any issues. It will be nice. Only I have to circulate it in WhatsApp group. Have they taken, Sister Jyoti?
Yes, sister.
Screenshots have they taken?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. So maybe anybody is wish to propose vote of thanks. After the vote of thanks, I would like to come back to the sisters. The Filipinos are here. So we'll have only just few minutes interactions and we'll wind up. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. Thank you, God bless.
Sister Maria,
Can I talk?
yes, sister.
Uh,
Little more louder.
Father, thank you so much for your nice presentation. I want to know only one question. Now, how to eradicate plastics from our area? That seems to be a very huge task, because we see everywhere plastics flying around, especially near the wine shops. We find a hill of plastics. I don't know what effort to take. The effort that we take seem to be very, very small. What can we do, Father? Can you give us more suggestions?
More than suggestions, sister. In Tamil Nadu, the government of Tamil Nadu has banned. So implement the ban very strictly. In your campuses, let it become plastic free. Start from your campuses. First and foremost, you must avoid using plastic. I must avoid. I may preach to the entire world and use privately all this plastic. So there are two things involved. There's more than plastic, polythene is dangerous. So plastic is very much part and parcel of our life. Recyclable plastic can be used, but not polythene. Get rid of polythene completely at the personal level, at the institutional level, and promote this inspiration. In Tamil Nadu is completely banned. Tamil Nadu is completely banned. We can enforce that. Now I see a lot of clean streets. Earlier it was not so. So that way we can also force the government to come out with guidelines, but actions start from you and me. That is very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Father.
Excuse me, sister and fathers. I am Sister Selvarani. Can you hear me?
Please switch on your video, sister.
Sister, I'm able to hear you, but not see you, sister. I want to see you also.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes, Father, I have listened to your talk, and it is more of how we form our conscience, first of all. How we form our conscience, each and everything what we do, even if it is very small, if we are consciously doing, so much of mishap will not happen, as per my view. And this meeting is for the higher education students, and the students, if they are really well formed in their conscience, most of this kind of things, environmental damage will be reduced. So
sister, it's a valid question, sister. I just want to respond like this. See, there is a very close relationship between environment and spirituality.
Yes.
Every religion gives a lot of importance to nature protection. So start for Hinduism. Hinduism is a very good religion in terms of preserving plants, preserving land. So every religion has got. So conscience can be formed through spirituality. Everyone. So start from there. Because there is a closer connection. Each religion, don't specify one religion. All religions focus on environmental protection and respecting Mother Earth, every religion. So conscience is basically framed through the spiritual outlook. So make use of religious views and all for this.
Yes, Father. Yes, yes, Father. And this webinar also was organized. Is organized with so much of trouble. And Sister Regina and even our Sister Jodi, all are making much effort to reach out to the students through your this very fruitful presentation. That presentation was really nice, and you also made such a what to say voice to reach out to the students with your full voice. But you see, as Sister Regina said, even to our students, we told them to participate, and the participation was good from our side. But just the same, it doesn't reach to many people. And that is why I am telling that if we are really want to do something with full conscience and with full vigor, if we do things, it will not go any waste. That is what I wanted to tell. No, Father. So
Sister,
even though
in this presentation, the last part was something new that I created. Last part, no.
Yes.
Environmental warriors and youth that was specifically prepared only for this webinar, because I thought most of the youth from these institutions will participate, and they will inspire. Only youth can inspire. We are all Buddhists. We are all what we may say, but youth can inspire youth. That is why that specific part I prepared exclusively now, only for this presentation. More participation could have been better. Yes, thank you.
Like salt on the earth, we will really, it will be more useful, and the students will make the others also will know about it, and we will do it in a very big way, grand way, especially to in our campus, plastic free and everything up to our reach, we will do further. We will be committed to that. Thank you very much.
So vote of thanks is over. We'll finish.
No, Father. William Blake says, the thankful receiver bears a plentiful harvest, and so I believe that we are all ready to harvest the plentiful thoughts that we got through Reverend Father Dr. John Kennedy. We must find time to stop and thank the people who make a difference in our lives. Pope Francis says, above all, let us not forget to thank. If we are bearers of gratitude, the world itself will become better, even if only a little bit, but that is enough to transmit a bit of hope. Now, I call upon Sister Jodi, the second year student of our college, to give a vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Gratitude is the memory of the heart. What a great joy and honor to meet and say big thanks to the galaxy of intellectuals and experts in the gallery of online screens. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who work really hard to make this event possible and successful. I, Sister Jyoti, the second year B.Ed student, on behalf of Auxilium College of Education and the entire fraternity of the institution, filled with an overwhelming sense of gratitude to God for making today's event a grand success. And then to the many individuals who have contributed the best for this webinar. Our special thanks go to Honorable and respected Sister Amalanathan Mary Margaret, the Provincial of INT Province. Thank you, dear sister, for your sisterly presence, and you are always a great source of inspiration. On behalf of everyone here, I extend my loving gratitude to our esteemed, brilliant, and celebrated chief guest, Dr. Reverend Father S.M. John Kennedy, who spared time from his busy schedule to grace this occasion. We really admire your ability to present the theme in such an interesting way. Your comments were very timely, your enthusiasm was contagious, and your practical suggestions were demanding us to become active protagonists. Today, we have got a lot of information which will truly help us in our life. We have no words to offer gratitude for your eminent presence here with us. You gave deep insight into the topics and revealed some interesting facts. Please accept our sincere appreciation for the outstanding presentation of the topic. You truly made this day enlightening for us. Your deep and intellectual way of imparting knowledge has added to the glory of this event. Congratulations and thank you, dear Father. I feel immeasurable gratification in thanking our energetic and enthusiastic principal, Dr. Sister Maria Pushpam, the Vice Provincial of INT Province. This event wouldn't be as fruitful as it is without your meticulous planning, wise guidance, and hard work. We are grateful to you, dear sister. Un cordiale salute e un sentito grazie a Sor Yvonne Quarlet per la sua presenza vivace e significativa. Ammiriamo i suoi preziosi consigli, la sua disponibilità e la capacità di coordinare e compiere responsabilmente i suoi compiti di accompagnare i giovani ed aiutarli a raggiungere allo sviluppo personale e integrale. A conclusione di costoro, desidero menzionare tutte le persone senza le quali questo raduno di condivisione e di celebrazione non esisterebbe nemmeno. Sì, i nostri cari saluti e ringraziamenti a Sor Runita Borgia e i suoi team per i vostri sostegni e aiuti a portarlo avanti la nostra missione tra le giovani. Grazie di cuore, Sor Yvonne. Our sincere and special thanks to Dr. Sister Ratnasamy Regina, the core member of INM India, for your stimulating speech, valuable guidance, contribution, excellent coordination for this event. An event like this cannot happen overnight. It requires planning and a bird's eye for detail. We have been fortunate enough to be supported by a team of very proactive and dedicated staff. We thank you for your willingness and active involvement. Yes, a big thanks to all the respected principals, correspondents, esteemed professors, admired educators, and the representatives from different colleges from various countries. Thank you for your rock-solid support and your amazing presence. Finally, a huge round of applause and thanks to all the building rock stars of this celebration. Yes, dear young people, it is you who are the reason for this event. Your presence made this day a memorable one. Thank you. All the best, for you are going to, yes, of course, we are going to make a change in the world. A big thanks to Sibi and Stefania for the meaningful opening prayer, which wrapped us with the presence of God. Let us give a huge round of applause to Sister Clara for the elegant, sweet, charming words of welcoming. It was so pleasant and heart-winning. We admire and appreciate Sister Jyoti for her capacity to moderate today's session. Your vibrant presence and methodical coordination was so fascinating. Once again, a thanks to each and every one of you present here. A happy good afternoon. I also invite everyone to join together to sing and praise the Lord by singing a song, Oh, Give Thanks to the Lord. Shall we begin? Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. He sits down and is his love.
I will sing to my God,
never ceasing. All my life I will tell of his wonders. He's the maker of heaven
and heaven,
all the ocean and
the seas and all their world. Oh,
give thanks to the Lord, for he is good.
Oh, give
thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. which is eternal is His love.
So
Thank you, everyone.
congratulations, Jyoti, both the Jyoti Square, one who proposed the vote of thanks as well as the Vice Principal of the college. So thank you and God bless you.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
So-
sister. Thank you, Sister Jyoti.
Before we could wind up, I want to arrange for the next program. Thank you, Sister Yvonne. She is with us. Maybe for the after 2 months, so now March, April and May, we will not have a webinar. June, I requested Sister Asila and Sister Leviani, they accepted together. They will have usually in the Philippines. July and August, no. September, anybody would like to take? Because September, then October, November, we will not have. Again, December, or we will see November, December like that. Next March, the 3 terms, once in 3 months, we said we'll be having. The other members are not here. I don't know what happened. Auxilium College, Vellore, I have a doubt whether anybody is participating. Auxilium College, B.Ed, I don't know anybody is participating. Auxilium College, B.Ed, Vellore, and Udalguri is a big question mark. So I don't know when is it possible, Sister Mercy, is it possible? Okay, 2023 March. Okay, Sister Mercy is, but before that there are 3 programs supposed to have. Okay, fine. So the Filipino sisters have agreed in June for June program. Am I right, Sister Asila? Asila and Leiliani?
Yes, sister.
Thank you. Thank you. Any topic, it's very interesting, whatever, maybe you can do it. Somebody I want September and December. Maybe I can ask someone else, maybe Udalguri and Africa also I'll check because I think they are not participating. So after 1 year, 2023 March, Sister B.Ed College of Kerala would be agreeing. I don't know how many sisters are participating or the students are participating. Whenever there is a communication like this, because after 2 months it will be coming, it is nice to create a web link and brochure beforehand so that all of us also intervene, whether is it possible, is it okay that date. So first we can check with this date. More or less we can make it possible. I don't know because the flyers and my communications and Sister Jyoti's communication, individually I forwarded apart from the group. Do you agree with me? I think Sister Mercy would have got it. Sister Asila and Sister Leiliani. I'm forwarding individually also so that we may respond very positively for this webinar. No, so it is nice to intervene because all those are present alone. Maybe after Sister Mercy Abraham is March, April, May, maybe the 2023 June, maybe still there is time. So till then we'll program it. In between the 2 institutes have to take up. I'll check with them who can take up September and December, and I'll communicate to you in WhatsApp or through email. I sincerely thank you, sisters. Thanks, Sister Yvonne. Merci beaucoup. Grazie, Sister Yvonne. Always she is very present, no? Because Italy time is, we are 4.5 hours ahead. From 6:30 she is awake without going for mass, without breakfast, without I don't know. So I sincerely thank Sister Lolia is there. I suppose she will translate what I am thanking.
Excuse me, sister. Is there certificate?
Yes,
I
sister,
don't.
yes, sister. I will send sister now.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, fine. Because it's only for the young people. It is necessary. Okay. So Sister Lolia is there. Sister Yvonne? Sister Lolia? No. Okay. So I sincerely thank all the sisters, Sister Selvarani, Sister Jyoti, and everyone. No, you took it hard to do it, no, meticulously. I congratulations and thank you sincerely. I am happy and proud of you, Sister Jyoti. Well done program.
Thank you, sister.
Well done. So wish you all the best, Sister Asila and Leiliani, who accepted to you in June. No? So you know the timing, no? You are 2.5 hours ahead of India. Africa, I think 3 hours we are ahead of 4.5 hours from Italy, we are ahead India. Africa must be 2-3 hours, I think. I will check next time. I'll check with them the timing. Usually last time they came, very good interactions were there from Africa. I don't know what happened this time. So none of them are here. And when we pay and get this web link, it is nice everybody to participate, the young people. No? So anything you would like to say, Asila, Sister Leiliani?
Thank you so much, Sister Regina and sisters, for allowing us now to attend this wonderful webinar on the environment, care for our common home, and our students. On behalf of our college students, we're really grateful because actually, the presentation of Father is very concrete, very detailed, okay, with regard to global warming and devastating effects. And he has given us the concrete ways on protecting our common home. As per our assigned webinar, we will still take the same time. India time will be 11:30 and Philippine time is 2:00 p.m. Sister.
Okay.
I'll just Sister Leila and myself will just have a meeting to finalize the topics and our speakers and all the details.
Yes, yes.
And we'll update you, Sister. Yeah, Sister.
So there's a lot of time. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.